This is Lon Jordan, and welcome to our Sketched by Design for Educators audio blog. To participate in our audio blog discussion, you can go to Sketched by Design for Educators Group's Facebook page. Here's part one in our discussion with Lisa Marie Rose on discovering your unique design in the 21st century marketplace. The focus, exposure. Now, one of the things that I talk about in my book coming out in spring of 2011 is the importance of living life with an imagination. And one of the things that our youth are having a hard time with, and some of it might be because of our parenting, some of it's because of lack of exposure. But what are some of the reasons why you think our imagination is being stifled, or we feel like our kids aren't cultivating a healthy imagination, which really can aid them in the 21st century marketplace?
Right. I think the thing that sticks out to me first and foremost is that because I think our imagination is being created for us with all the video games and everything that's going on around us. So I think our kids have gotten very lazy. A lot of times my kids will say to me, "Mom, I'm bored." And I say, "Go climb a tree, go outside, go really, find a mud puddle to jump in." And as a result, my kids really don't play video games that much. Of course they do, in the handheld games and things like that. But, we don't have TVs in the car. And we listen to the radio or, some form of other entertainment other than visual. And I really try to help them to create their own. But I think that's why. We're lacking, is because it's done for us. It's just in our faces all the time. You're right.
And one of the things, and I know your kids personally, I think they're amazing children and everything. One of the things I've noticed that I've seen you do over the years is that you've given them opportunities. One is for when your son plays basketball and things like that, giving him opportunities to expand his exposure.
Yes.
And ultimately, it really is developing that character and that leadership in him, so that when he gets out into the real world in the 21st century, he'll have that discipline that's needed to really effectively cultivate imagination.
Yes, and where I come from, there is not a lot of that. I come from a very small community where everybody is the same. And you follow this set of rules, which I'm not quite sure where it came from, but it's just, you just do this. And no one questions why, and no one questions to do something different. It's safe, it's familiar, and you just do it. And I've always challenged my children and the rest of my family to do otherwise. And I just really feel blessed that I have that kind of brain or that kind of heart, and I'm really not sure where that came from. I'm just really glad I have it. I just challenged my kids to be different and to do different, and different to me is very interesting. Different cultures, different ways of looking at things. I think that it does expand your understanding, and it gives you different angles to look at things. And it helps you develop, because now you have different options, and you get to develop well-roundedly instead of kind of in a box.
And I agree. One of the things I loved about my mother, that it was the fact that she taught me to be a critical thinker. She gave me constructive criticism, but she also allowed me to be. She allowed my differences to shine. A lot of people look at the word eccentric as a negative thing, but in actuality, really all it means is that you're deviating from the status quo to be who you are.
When people tell me that I'm weird, I say, "Thank you." I love that. It's fantastic.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so all these oddities that people see, a lot of times we try to stifle that.
Right.
And instead of saying, well, how can we help cultivate that while still helping to help get rid of those rough edges that you might have.
Right.
Because their child may be creative, that I've noticed, but they might also have the lack of discipline to follow through with their creativity. And creativity and discipline are one. It's impossible to really succeed without the other. Now, I know that you're a cosmetologist.
Yes.
You do a variety of different things, and that's more of in the creative arts. To me, it's like a creative art.
It's definitely an art form. I agree.
How does that impact how you help your how you cultivate an imagination in your kids.
Okay.
Is that kind of where you've been able to?
I know where you're getting at, though, and I think it's twofold, actually.
Okay.
I think that the way that I've been able to help them is because I have a creative mind. I understand individuality and a little being eccentric and being different, because creative people, artists, we're very unique.
Yes.
And we tend, and maybe I think I may have just answered my own question. Maybe that's why I've been able to get out of the box from where I come from, because I'm very creative in comparison. Mm-hmm. And so with my kids, that creativity I have seen in myself has made me different. And so I can embrace their differences and help them to understand that different is good. Different is what we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. There is only one us. There's only one you and one me. And if you try to be somebody else, well, they're already there. They're already somebody else. So why would you try to be the same, in somebody who you're not?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I've understood it and helped them to cultivate their individuality and all that stuff. But in the other sense, in being a cosmetologist and a stylist, and I've traveled, all over the place, and I see so many different people, even in a given day. I'll see 15 different people with 15 different ideas and beliefs and cultures, and just everybody that I get to know. If you listen, fundamentally we're all the same because we're all human, and that underlying sameness is there. But on top of that, you have all this beautiful, difference, and it's so interesting to me.
Thank you for listening to our Sketched by Design for Educators audio blog. For more information on my Sketched by Design programs, you can go to lonjordan.net. To participate in our audio blog discussion, you can go to Sketched by Design for Educators Group's Facebook page. I would like to thank DJ Doc and the Synergy Studio for the production and recording of this audio blog.